Now here's the other question, or here's actually the million-dollar question. Knowing what I know now about the V85, would I personally, with my personal skill level, feel comfortable take it off-road? Do I dare to go back off-road?
Welcome back to the channel. As promised, here are my first raw impression of the Aprilia 660 Tuareg. Stick around to the end for my final thoughts on this new adventure bike from Aprilia.
Definitely does not have the same kind of roll-on power than the 660. Feels very linear, but the kick is definitely not there anymore. Seating position is very comfortable, similar to the V85, but I will say I don't really have anything to really dig my knees into. Like the tank on the V85 is shaped in a way where I can literally attach myself to the bike. Here, this feels kind of weird actually, there's really nothing there. And I can already feel the heat from the catalytic converter that a lot of people have been complaining on my right leg here. That is interesting, so definitely seems to be a valid concern. I mean, I only have been on here for maybe 2-3 minutes and I can definitely feel it. And by the way, huge shout out to Plano Kawasaki Suzuki, Moto Guzzi, Aprilia and Vespa of Plano for letting me take it for a spin. Let's take a quick stint on the highway and see how she does. Definitely does not have the same kind of roll-on power than the 660. Feels very linear, but the kick is definitely not there anymore. Actually, let's do this. The clutch is very nice, I will say that. Operates super light and you can feel the engagement. And that is actually nicer than the V85. V85 is probably a little bit more direct when it comes to the clutch. I'm somewhat missing the exhaust note from the 660. I would have thought it was very similar, but it's not as, let's say it's sexy as the one from the 660. And oh my god, I found neutral. Finally. And again, that may just be a break-in issue here, since the bike literally had 1 mile. when I started the test ride. See if I can do this one again. Yeah, so still having a hard time from second, but oh, there it is, neutral. So I'm gonna log that under transmission needs to break in. I haven't really seen any complaints from anybody else. So initial impressions, doesn't have the direct roll-on power of the R660 or the Tuono 660, but I guess with 20 less horsepower, 80 versus 100, it is kind of expected, but it feels very linear, very easy manageable for sure. And I don't feel intimidated or anything by its power, so you can literally just roll it on and it's not gonna scare you. Overall feels very light and nimble, so I will give it that compared to the V85. And that is just an 80-pound difference technically. So let's take another look around. I like the kickstand. It seems very substantial. Feels very substantial. So there you have it, Aprilia 660 Tuareg. Looks are in the eye of the beholder. I think it's a good looking bike personally. I think they did a good job. I know a lot of people prefer that Dakar livery with the white, blue and red, but this red one actually is not bad looking at all. So the heat issue, I can definitely feel the heat coming here from the catalytic converter. So that's one of the main concerns that I was reading online. And I know that some people have been doing some modification inside the fairing here to try to disperse some more heat, but because this is right now, this is all just enclosed, and I think they have been opening these vents up to actually disperse heat, but I don't think that's the issue, because I think the issue doesn't come from the radiator, it's coming from the catalytic converter, and I can definitely feel it on my right leg right now. I mean, that is definitely more than I'm used to, even from my 660, from the R660 Stars and Stripes. I don't feel anything like that. And obviously the V85, yeah, same thing. I really haven't had any issues with that. Now my first thought on this one here was, if you replace the stock exhaust with a aftermarket and eliminate the catalytic converter, this may be a solution, but I have looked online and I haven't really seen anybody posting yet with the experience, or if that does help with it or does not help with it. So not 100% sure if that would solve the problem or not. In general, what I heard is that the bike in general just runs fairly hard. So that would be my one gripe. And then the second gripe right now, as I mentioned, is you don't really have, I guess you have these sides here to dig in, but yeah, the way I'm sitting on it, it just, for some reason the V85 feels very natural, the way the tank is shaped. And this one here, I guess with tank pads maybe, maybe get a better feeling out of it, but yeah, at the moment it doesn't feel very intuitive to me to dig in and shift the weight. But overall, yeah, definitely lighter than the V85. You can definitely feel the difference. Now here's the other question, or here's actually the $1 million question. Knowing what I know now about the V85, would I personally, with my personal skill level, feel comfortable take it off-road? Do I dare to go back off-road? And you know what, guys? I'm gonna say yes. I know it's only 80 pounds of difference, and I don't know really how much of weight can be saved beyond what's on here, beyond the exhaust. But it feels very light and nimble, similar to the R660, even though I know this one is actually, I believe it's 50 pounds heavier than the R660. I'll double check and look it up and post it in the link below. But I like it except of the weird position for the knees and the heat. So these are the two major gripes. As I said, power just comes on differently. I know the engine is tuned differently, and it's definitely easy to ride slow speed. No issues whatsoever. Clutch is very easy to operate, so that's a big plus as well. And obviously from an engineering point of view, they did a lot of things right here. I can see the oil filter right there, and I watched already a couple of videos where the tank is actually way below down here, so it has a low center of gravity, and the airbox is very easy accessible, not like the V85, which is almost a nightmare to get to. So yeah, overall verdict for my short little ride, I like it a lot. I wouldn't mind owning one. I like the little detail here. Now there are supposedly grab handles for pillions, but this is actually perfect to just strap some gear down, which eliminates the need for a rack that goes around here, which I like a lot. I'm all about weight savings. I also like the tail section of the bike. Usually you got these ugly tails, and the way they integrated this here, there's no need for any kind of aftermarket solution. Looks perfect to me. So that's something I've always been wondering, why motorcycle manufacturer put these ugly tails on there and then you have to revert to an aftermarket solution. And yes, I'm looking at you, Aprilia R660 Stars and Stripes. That tail is really not aesthetically pleasing. So, but yeah, exhaust is a little bit big for me. I probably would change that to an aftermarket. I'd probably get rid of the catalytic converter. Thanks to here in the US, we don't really need it. Wheels are tubeless tires, so that's a plus. That's a big plus. So no messy tubes to be changed if you do have a flat or if you do pick up a nail. The engine definitely has adequate power. It's just different power, and again, I'm basically coming from a bike that has a lot of power down low, so it does obviously feel a little bit different, but I think it's fine for what it is. It's definitely fine. I don't have any comparison to the Yamaha Tenere T7, but from what I understand, this one actually is up on horsepower versus the Yamaha, and they're both the same weight. And technology wise, yeah, it's no contest. The Aprilia has the T7 handily beat when it comes to technology, with the display, with the rider aids, and I think it's just an overall better package, as it should be, as it is a much newer bike. The T7 is probably getting at this point a little long in the tooth when it comes to the technology. But in any case, let's ride back to the dealer and take it from there. And once again, one more time, big shout out to Plano, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Vespa, Moto Guzzi and Aprilia of Plano for letting me take it for a quick ride and see what the fuss is all about. If you do have any needs, if you live in the North Texas area, most definitely check him out. See Jason, tell him I sent him, tell him I sent you, and I have been buying many bikes from them. I think I'm on my four bikes now that I bought from them, and always treated me fairly. I have really no issues with the sales. I had no issues with the service department. So, yep. Check them out if you're in the market for a bike, and if you're looking for any of the brands they are carrying. Alright, let's see here. Alright, how to get back? Let's see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is standing up is super easy. That I will say, it is comfortable, it feels very confidence inspiring standing up on this one. The V85 actually is not, for some reason, this one feels much more confidence inspiring than the V85, and I can literally just shift the weight with shifting the weight on the packs. I like it. I like it a lot. Super easy, as you can see here. I don't know if you can see it in the side windows, but yeah, super comfortable. Usually you have to mess with the handlebars and with risers, and this one out of the box, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It feels super comfortable. So that's a huge plus. So they definitely have gotten a lot of things right on this one. Oh my god, there's neutral. So once again, I think there was more in initial break-in issue with the transmission, as it doesn't seem an issue at this point. Definitely like the way it looks. I think they did a really good job. Definitely has that whole adventure-y look here. The TFT is fantastic. I am somewhat jealous. Obviously the V85 and the R660 have the last generation one that's smaller, and while they don't look bad, this one here, it's nice to have a bigger screen, especially for people like me that getting up in their 50s. We're not getting any younger, so bigger digits are always easier to see. But yeah, I can dig it. I can definitely dig it.